Welcome to Sunday Stock Talk on July 8th. It's 11:47 a.m. Eastern Time. I want to extend a thank you to all of the Facebook members who are now joining the YouTube page and the YouTube Stock Talk. I know a lot of you guys contacted me through private message and through a lot of tickers, so I just want to welcome you all, as well as just, you guys, if you guys are regular viewers of the YouTube Stock Talk, welcome back. Let's take a look at SPY on the 180-day chart using the Thinkorswim platform. I've zoomed in for you guys. Actually, let me just show you. Here's the general trend on the 180-day chart. I'm going to zoom in on the current trend, and we knew that there was a resistance between 273 and 274. And we know that the markets generally, if it goes up, it's going to spike up, right? And the reason why it's going to spike up is because we consolidated at the low, right? This was the low that we found, and then we went up. So now we're on the uptrend. Surely, remember we talked about this red line being the major bullish support, and such that if SPY manages to close under that on a daily basis, we expect the switch from bull back to bear. However, we had a lot of leeway down here, right? Which means that the markets could have kept falling, and even at this point, the market would have still been bullish. Well, we didn't hit all the way down there. We managed to reverse over here. So now we're back on the uptrend. We've always thought that the markets were bullish, right? We always thought the markets were bullish. It was just a matter of time when the markets would reverse. Now that's reversed, we're looking at a resistance at 278. Where did that resistance come from? Look at this lower high, right? And now we're back here. So what I'm looking for is actually, now that the news items have passed, such as the tariffs, we have the meeting minutes that's passed last week, all these fluctuations have passed, and there's less of a bump in the next week. So that's good for the markets, so that we're looking to 278 as a resistance, and if we manage to push higher and close higher to 278, which is actually pretty possible at this point, if we manage to close higher, we expect another resistance around 279, but then once we break 279, everything can come loose, which means we'll see significantly higher prices to come after that. But right now, this is the pattern that we're seeing, and I went bull with the markets, long with the markets as well. And what did I say in terms of trading strategies last week? I said a close over 274. So when I looked at intraday, right, look at how it went up. There was essentially no stop between 274, which is right here, to here, correct? So when it started doing the steady up, 274, keeping over the 20 EMA line, I went into the markets around 274. I do what I say, so I'm not just telling you guys and not doing it. I'm actively trading as well around that area. So so if you guys were able to take advantage of that, that was good. So what do I see in the next few days, right? There's a couple of possibilities. One possibility is if we go back to the 180-day chart, one possibility is for us to come down and retest the low. So retest this area 273.69. Okay, that's one possibility, but what I'm seeing is if that occurs, I'm expecting another rebound back up. Okay, that's one possibility. The second and it might be intraday, it doesn't have to last the entire day. The other possibility is a continuous move back to the upside, and that would just take another couple of days to reach that 278 mark. So that's what I'm seeing. Let's take a look at TVIX or volatility. We see volatility right breaking the support. The support was at where? It's extending this to the right. The support was around $47, but note that as markets push higher, we expect volatility to continue falling. So look for volatility, in my opinion, to continue to fall in the next few days. All right, let's take a look at /CL tracking crude oil futures. Oh, by the way, if you guys do find these videos helpful, please hit and smash that like button. It helps me a lot, just kind of seeing like how many people are viewing and how many people are actually benefiting from the information that I share with you guys. So if you guys do find this helpful, all you have to do is hit that like button, that thumbs up button, and of course, like I say, if you didn't like it, I do hope you like the video in the future, right? I hope you guys like the video, at some point. /CL tracking crude oil futures. Remember we said that crude oil continues to be bullish, right? And I actually talked about the support at 72.68. Again, this hasn't really changed, right? Look at what happened. When it was coming down, I was looking for some sort of reversal pattern here. Because look at this. We had a tail candle, confirmation back up. Tail candle again at the support. This should be another confirmation to the upside again, right? But unfortunately, we had to make another support, right? So it's consolidating horizontally perfectly fine. This still looks like crude oil bullish to me, given this reversal pattern again. So like I said, there are tickers such as GUSH and UWT that looks pretty good. The major resistance is 76.30, so we're not going to go to inverse crude oil or DWT until we see a reversal pattern, and this was not a reversal pattern. Remember, I told you guys that. So now it's back up, and I'm expecting to push to $76 or higher. Doesn't have to be in the tomorrow or the next few, but sometimes in the future it will. In my opinion, there's a good probability that will pop to $76. I want to show you guys GUSH right here really quick. So here's GUSH. We see that it was being wedged in by the ascending triangle pattern, right? And now we're kind of breaking above to the top. Certainly more bullish for GUSH, so you can imagine as crude oil is pushing higher, GUSH is a good one to look at as well. But UWT seems to be, in my opinion, a slightly more safer play. But that's just my opinion. All right, let's take a look at /NG, tracking natural gas futures. So natural gas futures is one that I was watching extremely carefully as well, because I was in inverse natural gas, or DGAZ, in which I exited it earlier in the morning. And I can show you the pattern that I was seeing and why I was exiting, because you guys can note that you see these two red candles coming down, right? And this was formed on 7.5, and then this was 7.6. So this is Thursday. So I bought in to DG, or inverse natural gas, around this area, and then we found a support here. And you guys can see these four candles, four 4-hour candles, showing good support at this area. So at this point, I took out my DGAZ shares here, and this is something that will be taught in the course as well. How do you identify patterns, and how do you, like, you know, kind of exit, especially if you're kind of trading a little shorter term, which I did, which was like a one-day swing trade. I exited right here. So now we're back to the 20 EMA. Surely this is where one place you can take that DGAZ position again. I mean, UGAZ only went up 2.7%, UGAZ following natural gas, but DGAZ, you know, can you, like, I could have gotten in back again during the close on Friday. So we're at the 20 EMA again. There's a good chance that we might get rejected again. At the very least, test that support at 2.827. But in the meantime, yeah, we're kind of, you know, still on the downtrend, natural gas. So here's DGAZ. This is what I'm seeing. See, we're back at the support around $24. Might be a good entry point because you know where to put your stop loss. That's the most important part. All right, let's take a look at /GC, tracking gold futures. Here's gold. Pretty darn good, right, guys? Looking at gold, what do you guys see? We said that gold is holding a pretty good pattern. We saw a reversal up here, and then we finally consolidated over here. So this is actually a very nice pattern that I'm looking at right now. This is a 180-day chart where we found a support here. So in my opinion, the ticker to look into continuously has to be JNUG or JNUG. This one, you know, has held the support at $13. It's broken over the resistance at $13.89, and now the next resistance is at $14.82. We are pretty close to it, but just note that as /GC continues to push higher, or if it pushes higher, we expect JNUG to continue to climb. So that is something to keep an eye on. This one, so guys, when you're investing in ETFs, in your head, think about which one do you want to pick, right? Which one has the highest probability of making you money? So, for example, you know, I talked about UWT and JNUG. Those two seem to be the good tickers that I'm looking at right now. So, you know, I would put that, you know, in your bucket more than things like, you know, maybe like DRIP or GUSH or, you know, UGAZ, those kind of tickers, which it's kind of stuttering, a little uncertain at that point. So that's something that you guys, I think, should do in your mind before you invest your hard-earned money. So Okay, let's take a look at, I'm going to show you guys one trend. Here's XBT, okay? What is XBT? Bitcoin, okay? So Bitcoin futures found a kind of low around 58.54. You guys can see that we dropped to a 180-day low. So the reason why I'm pointing this out is Bitcoin does have a lot of potential to go higher. And we did find that bottom. Even though I don't really like this sort of bottom, if you wanted to take a position now, you know, at the very least, once again, you know where your stop loss is if you're wrong. So, and you can see that we finally gapped up after many, many months of, well, actually a couple of months of just downtrending overall. So there's a little room for you know, this kind of looks like this pattern, right? You guys can see that? At least a small Bitcoin reversal here. And now we're kind of popping up a little bit. So this is something to keep an eye on. I don't know if you guys do invest in Bitcoin, but I just wanted to point that out for you guys. So let's take a look at your comments. Ben Carter. Hey, Kevin, what do you think of DBX? So DBX, we're looking at the 180-day chart, and you guys can see that DBX has continuously been on the downtrend. One thing to note is, yes, that we are having a bottom right here, but do we have any sign of a reversal? Not yet, right? Look at this. When we had the sign of reversal, we popped up, got rejected right here near the 20 EMA line, and then now we're coming back down. So let's take a look at the 1 year chart. What the? Why am I drawing those? That's kind of weird. Right, so again, there's no sign of reversal on the 1 year chart. You guys can see that the MACD continues to push lower. So right now, this is not something I would actively invest in. This was actually a pretty nice confirmation of reversal pattern. All of a sudden, we got rejected right at the 20 EMA. Yikes. So yeah, this is just not good right now for Dropbox. So I would wait at least a couple of days for this one to play out before even re-looking at this one. All right, then UCTT seems to be on the way up. UCTT Ultra Clean, yeah, this is one that we talked about it. It went up 2%, but you know we made this lower low and lower high. And the question is, you know, do you really want to play the long trend on a stock that is descending? Yes, even if it's at the bottom, yes, there's a probability that it could pop up. But overall, it's been making lower highs and lower lows, and even though you can play the upside, it's just a constant downtrend. So the force may not be with you. Oh, wow. So the probabilities may not be with you, even if you try to get near the bottom. And this is why I like to play things that are on an uptrend, especially if it just kind of started the uptrend. For example, I showed you Bitcoin. All right. But yeah, if you really wanted to get in, you could have gotten in at the support, and then, you know, you exit maybe 2-3% higher just to be a little safe. Addy boy, happy Friday, happy weekend. Thanks for answering the previous ticker blue. It's formed a cup over 5 years and handle. How do we analyze the reversal? So we talked about blue. Is that confirmation? Yeah. So here you go. Yeah, and then other indicators or tools that I use, that will be covered in the course as well. So that'll be reserved for people in the course. Things like how to set up the indicators, what indicators to use, what these indicators mean, how do you, in conjunction, you know, use all these tools to analyze stocks. So here we are, right? We talked about blue in the past, and the reason why this is such is that we see that you guys can see this lower low, lower high. However, we have this bull flat pattern that's been forming. So the thing is, I think this is one that's been increasing. Yeah, it's been increasing a ton in the past 3 years, and therefore we need and expect some consolidation. So on the weekly chart, it looks pretty darn good. This is a reversal pattern to the upside. Just know that there are resistances at 189, and this 189, I think this is a very nice pattern, and you know, I like it. Since we're at the bottom, there's potential for it to get to 189 to 192 area. At that point, we would look for a sell. But good job on the catch. A weekly candle. Is that a confirmation? Yeah, so this is a nice way to see that this is possibly a reversal. Just note, you know, there's nothing is for certain in stocks and trading. And therefore, you would have to set a stop loss for this one as well. But overall, I do like that pattern. Good job on that. Adrian, can you touch on AT&T, symbol T, and bouncing off the 50 SMA? All right, so AT&T, let's take a look. All right, not too shabby right now. We're seeing a descending pattern, but you guys can see that we're at a 3-year low point right here, which has acted as a support in the past. The one thing I don't really like is I like this candle here. So far this it looks okay. I think there's a safe play from here to a safer play from here to the 20 EMA line. So that is a 2 to 3 percentage point. But this one, again, is one that kind of moves a little slow. So you guys can see that these are weekly candles, and these weekly candles only closed only 1.7% higher. So it does move a little slow, but if you like that kind of trend, kind of slower, if you're edging into the markets right now, that's certainly one to look into. I think this is a good trend. I like how you identified this double bottom, and now that we're going back up. So that is very good. And as long as we keep over the light blue line of the 20 EMA, it seems like we are pretty safe with AT&T. So yeah, good job on taking a look at that one, Adrian. Chris Chen, when is EL a buy? EL a buy. All right, so EL is one where you guys can see that it's been constantly declining. Actually, let's take a look at this. Oh, okay. So yeah, actually not too bad. Not too bad. Look at the we've touched the 150 SMA, which has acted as support in the past. Right now we're at the 150 SMA again. This one is looking enticing. Let me put this one in my ticker list. So right now we've touched it again, and we're beginning to see possibility of a nice support here. So I want to give this maybe 2 days, 1 to 3 days approximately, and see how this plays out. If you wanted to take that entry position, I think that is perfectly fine in my opinion. That is perfectly fine to take the entry position. Yeah, this is a good pattern. Who said that, Chris? Okay, good job. Space Ghost, Kevin, you're forgetting that AMD has its earnings report. So I know a lot of people are talking about AMD, and you know, this is why I'm not right 100% of the time. Remember, I said that I was waiting for the, and I still am. I'm still waiting for that edge back down to the 20 EMA line, right? I'm waiting for that, you know, drop to the 20 EMA line. It's at $13 to $14 still right now. It doesn't have to get down there. Remember, I told you guys, even, you know, if it, you know, kind of goes horizontally to the point, I just need the 20 EMA line to start catching up with the price. It's right now, it's still overextended right now, and I don't want to be going into something that is overbought. And you guys might use RSI for that. You know, it's just something that I'm not comfortable doing. Now, if you, because for example, that IQ, right? When IQ was overbought, now look what's happening to IQ. So, you know, this is something where you guys can like be like, well, I can do an entry right now, right? And I know where to, you know, once I grasp that 2 to 3%, I would get out. If you guys got in down here and you got into the 5-6%, you got your 5-6%, you're good. Maybe you should, you know, consider going out at that point because we are still very overextended. But that's up to your comfort and risk level. So when you guys are talking about earnings, whether it will gap down or gap up, right? Who knows what it will do during earnings, right? During earnings, 725, which is in a couple of weeks, it's already very overextended, right? So it could easily come down to the 20 EMA line. At the same time, I can see it continue going higher at that point because we're on earnings, and we're on, you know, because of earnings is occurring, all of a sudden, you know, how do we know that it's going to pop up or down? It's very hard to tell given this trend. And you guys can see that, yeah, initially when we started the uptrend, we had a major continued gap up, right? You guys can see this gap up. But then look at here, right? When we felt like people were still going up, and all of a sudden, look at this drop based off of earnings on May 1st, 2017, right? What happened? We were so overextended, and people thought that we were going to continue to go higher, that AMD managed to drop all the way back down. Wow, look at that weekly. That weekly was that what? Like 20-30% drop, right? So this is why I'm not going to take a chance on AMD earnings. I mean, it might go up, it might go down, but I'm still looking for the entry at the 20 EMA line. that's just more safe. Coolio, Discord is the way to go. Thank you. All right, Eric, can you break down MU for Trader Princess? All right, so MU for everyone, right? MU has been holding this higher low, a very nice pattern. You guys can see that the entry point would have been right here. I think if you guys wanted to enter right now, I think it's fine. Just note that it might continue consolidating, or it might start pushing higher. This is a very nice trend on the weekly chart, and therefore this is something that you know, I would probably look into going into as well. This is a good one. I like this. There's really nothing to say to that. Look at this trend, right? Pretty much a very predictable pattern. Yeah, good job on identifying this stock. See, when you guys do great analysis, I don't really need to say anything. So, all right, that's it for everything that I'm covering today. Oh, actually, K9, let me tackle your last one. So MMM is 3M. You guys can see that triple M. It's been falling. So in the past 3 years, we see that this could have been a support right here. The one thing I just want to be a little cautious about is look at the MACD lines right here, right? Look at the MACD, and then we kind of was starting edging towards the lighter line right here, and we were about to cross until we broke apart again a little bit. So I would, if you wanted to take a position right now, we're seeing some consolidation, but this is still on an active downtrend until when we can pop over the 20 EMA line or the light blue line. That's the possibility I would take a position into 3M, but right now it is still on the downtrend. Note that in the past, the 150 SMA has been acting as a support, so there's a good chance that we might still fall a little lower. So this one's in a period of active decline and not something I would like to go in right now. All right. Okay. Holy moly. I think that is everything. If I didn't get to your ticker, this video was already really long, so I do apologize. So please submit your ticker in this comment down below. I will do your tickers tomorrow and Monday Stock Talk. In the meantime, enjoy your Sunday, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another trading day. In the meantime, please like this video if you did like it, and I'll see you guys on Facebook if you guys want to talk to me as well. So in the meantime, I'll see you later, and take care, y'all.